to share with anyone that might be missing it tonight. And then you can re-listen to it if you want to. So tonight is going to be all about connecting. Adding to your network. That's what we're talking about tonight. We've talked about connecting. We feel that you're probably at the point that it's time to start thinking about adding to your network.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just make sure everybody is muted so we don't have any background noise there. Okay. You can always jump in and ask a question. Don't feel uncomfortable about that. But there's just always a lot of background noise if you're unmuted. So make sure you're muted if you can. So one important thing that you continue to do, and the sooner you start doing this, the easier your business is going to be, is adding people to your network. So always adding new friends, basically. If you're using Facebook, if you're using Instagram, you want to be having new followers all the time. So you have new people to connect with and new people seeing your posts all the time. There are lots of different ways to do this. And lucky for you guys, you have two of us here that are both successful in this business, and we did it the complete opposite way. So that's good news, because we're able to share with you two different avenues. We literally, nothing we did was the same, but we kind of came to the same place in the end. I'm a year ahead of Megan, so that might mean I'm a different rank, but our pace is exactly the same for the time we've put in. So you can get to the same goal doing either of these ways. We are not here to overwhelm you, okay? So take all of this tonight, write down some stuff, but I really just want you to listen. And that's why I'm going to record it, and then you can go back and re-listen to it. Don't get all flustered and feel like you have to get off this call and go start making new friends. That's not what we're meaning. We want you to take these tips and these clues from us and put whatever feels right to you into action. But what we are saying is it's extremely important. Your warm market doesn't ever have to go away. If you are always making new friends, you are always in your warm market. Please listen to me when I say that. I didn't know Heather. I didn't know Megan. I didn't know Jenny or Alicia or Amanda pre-Beachbody. But because I continued to add to my network, they became my friend, and they became a coach after that. They were in my warm market because I connected with them on a friend-to-friend basis before we talked about Beachbody and before we talked about coaching. Like, the only person I knew here in real life before Beachbody was, well, Megan, obviously, but Steph. Steph and I went to hairdressing school together. But everybody else I met socially on Facebook. Okay, so it's important that you're making new friends without the agenda of selling them anything. Just adding them to your support group or adding them to your personal page and just getting to know them. So Megan's going to start and to share how she's built her network, how she started right away, adding people to her support group and getting to know them, and then transitioning them into Challenger, and then transitioning them into Coach. And then I'll share how I did it after. You're on.
So like Michelle said, it is something that is so vital that you guys start doing as soon as possible. I realized this very early on, that I had to start adding more people into my network. I had to have more people seeing my posts because I was eventually just going to run out of people, right? Like, we all have a certain amount of friends on Facebook, and if we're doing what we should be doing and we're reaching out to a certain amount of people every day, we're going to get through that list. We're going to get through our friends list on Facebook, and then what? You all of a sudden hit a wall and you really have nobody else to talk to. So it is so important that that list never runs out. You always have people to talk to. And after a certain amount of time, if you haven't been adding to your list, and adding to your network, you're literally fishing from the same pond, or however that saying goes, fishing from the same pond, I think. Like, you're just talking to the exact same people over and over and over again. And the same people are seeing your stuff. And either they are going to join you, they are going to want to join a challenge group or join your team, or they're not going to want anything to do with it. So, you have to keep bringing in new people who are going to become interested. So hopefully everybody understands like really how vital this is, that you do keep bringing people in. There are a few different ways that you can do it, and I'm going to go over the ways that are pretty simple and don't cost a darn thing. They may take a little bit longer to build that connection and to get sort of the end result that we're wanting. And, that means getting people into our challenge groups and getting coaches on our team. These ways do take a little bit more time, but they are nonetheless very, very effective. And this is how I expanded my network until I think it was about December of this past year. So like it had like a year and a half of my business, I grew it by these simple ways. I did not invest money into my business until December. I think it was when I first did my first ad where I invested money to sort of find people on Facebook. So, but I was very consistent with it, and I worked really hard at these things. So the reason why you want to start adding now is because the people that are coming into your network now and the people that are going to start to follow you and start to see your posts, it's going to take them a while before that relationship is really built up and before they would even think about trusting you with their health and fitness or trusting you with their $180 to purchase a challenge pack. So the people that you add into your network this week are not going to become your challengers next week. I mean, there always is that random person that is like ready to do this and just you get lucky, but the majority of them maybe are going to take a couple months or 6 months or even longer before they're ready to join you. So that's why you have to start now before you run out of people to talk to. So friend requesting. This can just make some people very uncomfortable, like hitting that friend request button on someone that you don't really know, but it does not have to be that scary at all. The best thing that you can do is if you have a spouse, go to his friends list on Facebook. So I'm going to just do a screen share. I think I can do that, right? It wasn't my link, but okay. I'm just going to show you guys because a lot of people don't understand what I mean when I say this. So I'm assuming you can see this. Michelle, are we good? I can't see anybody. Will you just say that we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So if you go to, I'm going to pull up my husband, for instance. And if I go to his friends list, and if I go to mutual friends, and then if I go to people you may know. So these are friends of his, but that I am not friends with. So I have pretty much gone through his list already. But if you go and do this to your spouse or to your best friend and click on this, you're going to see a ton of people who you probably do know, and you guys are going to have a ton of mutual friends, but it's just you guys aren't friends on Facebook yet. So you can go through and you can start to look at the people that you would want to be friends with. So for instance, I have pretty much friended like all of the women that he's friends with because I want them to see my stuff. I want to get them into my market. Another thing that you can do too, don't mind his cover photo. I tag him in a lot of my posts that have to do with like just the kids and stuff, so that I can then go through, because his friends will start to like it, I can go through and friend request those people too. So that's just another little tip there. Stop share. Okay. So does that make sense? Like, that's a really, really easy thing to start doing, because chances are those people are going to accept your friend request because they see that you are married to their friend, or that you're best friends with their friend, or you're dating their friend. So it's just a very safe way to go about adding to your network. So then that sort of presents the question, okay, they are going to see a friend request from you. And what is the first thing that everybody does when you get a friend request from somebody? You go and look at their profile. You go and look at, who is this person that is friend requesting me? So you want your personal profile to look appealing. So this sort of goes back to what we were talking about, I think, last week, and maybe some voice messaging in our message thread. If you are running your business solely through a support group because you want to keep it private, that's fine. But when you are sending friend requests to people and they look you up, like they click on your name to see why you're friend requesting and who are you, and you don't have anything on your profile, or it's just like mine for a while, there was like a hot mess of silly tags, like mom funny things and coffee funny things, like nothing relevant to myself or to what I'm doing. And it doesn't have to be anything Beachbody, but it should be you on there. So that is why I make sure that every day I am posting as well on my personal page. I'm not as much like throwing out the health and fitness there that I am in my support page, but I still am sharing my journey every single day on my personal page. That way, when people accept my friend request or go and look me up, they can see like, oh, like you want people to want to follow you. So make sure that your storefront looks appealing, looks attractive, is clean, those sorts of things, right? So you want them to accept your friend request, and they'll do that providing they see something that they want to see. Okay, so that's the first thing, and you guys can all get off this call and start doing that tonight. So I recommend sending out like 5 to 10 friend requests every single day, because if you sent out 10 friend requests, let's say, probably 2 or 3 are going to accept it. Like that's just, it's a numbers game. So if you are sending out like, 2 or 3 friend requests every day, you're not going to grow your network very fast. So I always say start at like 5 to 10. If you're a go-getter, send out more than that. So it just all depends how fast you want to grow and how many new people you want into your network. So you can imagine if you did that every single day for the next week, every single day for the next month, how over time your network is just going to keep on growing. When I started on Facebook, like when I started coaching, I think I had about 300 friends. Now I'm up over 2,000. And that didn't just happen overnight. That was consistently adding every single day. And it's just the compound effect. It grows over time. So the second thing that you can do is, this takes a little bit more time, but again, it's very effective at finding people who are like you. So joining Facebook groups. Some of you may actually already be in some Facebook groups, like mom groups or dog groups or like scrapbooking groups. Like there's so many groups on Facebook. Does everybody know what I mean when I say groups on Facebook? Like there's seriously a group for anything. There could be a group for the town you live in or the state you live in, whatever the case may be, but there is so many groups that you can request to join. So when I heard about this, I think I was just a couple months into the business, and I I heard a team call from like one of the top coaches, and they said to do this. So I immediately went and joined a few different mom groups, and I joined like a breastfeeding group. I also joined like an organic mom group because I thought, oh, that would be good. Connect with some people who are into healthy stuff, that sort of thing. I joined a few of them. The important thing to realize is when you do this, you want to join groups that are really true to you. So don't join a mom group if you're not a mom, or, you know, a breastfeeding group if you've never breastfed, or a dog group if you hate dogs, right? Because you want to be able to connect with the people who are in those groups. So for instance, I did join this like organic group. Well, and I connected with a lot of women in there, and I added them to my network because I was just like, that's what I need to do. Well, all of a sudden I was chatting with all these women who were like hardcore organic and natural. And I was like, oh, good Lord. Like, I like disposable diapers and disposable wipes. Like, I maybe have done something wrong. I love Lysol spray and all that stuff. So, you know, there wasn't a lot of connections happening. So I learned that the hard way. But so make sure you join groups that are really interesting to you. And then you're going to go into these groups, and you're not going to go in and start like, I'm a Beachbody coach. Who wants to join me? You know, join my challenge group. You're not going to do any of that. You go into these groups, and the whole purpose is for you to add value to people, to just be a member in these groups and comment on people's posts, show people support, ask questions yourself. So for instance, like I always use the mom stuff because that's just me and my market. So I joined a breastfeeding group, and I would go in there about like legit breastfeeding questions, like the questions I actually had because I was breastfeeding. And I would be able to comment on other people's posts and give them suggestions about, you know, whatever their problem was, because it was actually something I was going through myself. So they were genuine connections I was making. And what I would do is I would just friend request them. Like if I was chatting in a little like comment, I would just send them a friend request. And odds are they'll probably accept it because they know that you guys were having a back and forth conversation on this post, and they'll accept it. So all of a sudden, you have a new person in your network who actually is like you and has the same similar story and interests, I guess, as you. You can also go into these groups and really post with purpose. This is something I did when I was sleep training my baby. So like I don't know, maybe it was a year ago that I did this, or yeah, maybe a year and a half ago or so. I did a post in a group, and I had a book, like a sleep training book, but you couldn't even really see what the cover was. And I just did a post about like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I finally read this silly book that I kept putting off, and I read it, and what do you know? My son just slept through the night last night. I'm over the moon excited. Well, you do a post like that in a mom group, you are going to have so many people commenting and saying like, what was the book? What did you do? Oh my gosh, my child never sleeps. Like comment after comment after comment. And so what I did was I just commented on each one of their comments and just said, you know, I'll send you a PM with the book name, or oh my gosh, it's the easiest formula to follow. I'll send you a PM. And you send them a friend request, and then you send them a message with like the link to Amazon with the book or whatever you're going to sort of share with them. And you say, you know, does your child not sleep through the night either? And now all of a sudden you're having a conversation with them and you're connecting with them. And it doesn't go into Beachbody. It's not going to. Like very rarely is that initial conversation going to go to Beachbody and to what you're doing, but they're going to start seeing your stuff and they're going to take interest in what you have to offer and what you're doing because they're going to start seeing your stuff. Another thing that you can do, and I actually had one of my coaches do this, she belonged to, I think it was a mom group too, or like a fitness group. And so she posted her before and after transformation in there. And she said something about like, I can't believe I finally lost these last 10 pounds I've been hanging on to. I am so excited. I just had to share. Well, of course, everybody wants to know how she finally lost those last 10 pounds. And so again, she friend requests and comments on each person's comment. I'll send you, like you could say, I'll send you my weekly meal plan. I'll PM you. Or I'll, like, because you don't want to message these people and say, oh, well, I'm actually doing the 21-day fix. But you can offer up your weekly meal plan to them. Check your inbox. I'll send you my weekly meal plan. So you can do that. And it's very easy for us to come up with a quick little meal plan, right? Like even in any of our free groups that we've run, there's a meal plan in there. You could put that into a document and you could send that to somebody. It doesn't have to talk about containers. It doesn't have to talk about anything to do with Beachbody, but you're giving them something. You're offering value. And when you do that, you make a really good connection with somebody, and they're going to want to keep following you and watch what you're doing. So that just leads to more connections, more friends in your network. So those are some strategic ways that that you can sort of keep adding to your network. And then the third way is by hosting these free groups that we are always consistent at doing. Michelle and I have always been doing them. So instead of on your post about your free group saying, comment below if you're interested, instead say, tag a friend, comment below I'm in, and tag a friend, or tag 3 friends. Make it whatever you want it to be. So everybody that's interested in doing this tags their friend, and now all of a sudden you have like double the people that potentially could be in your free group. And then what you do is the person who was tagged, send them a friend request, and also send them a message and just say, Michelle thought that you might be interested in joining our 3-day clean eating group. I'm going to provide a meal plan and some recipes and a whole bunch more fun things. Are you interested in joining us? So I have done this with probably the last few months with all my free groups. And it's crazy because you message these people and they're like, oh yeah, that sounds amazing. I'd love to join. So all of a sudden, brand new people that you have to talk to. And it's super exciting when you do get people that you have you don't know who they are. Like it feels so exciting to have those conversations with them, and it just sort of takes it to the next level for you in the business. And it's really exciting to start getting to know these people who you actually don't know, because right now you're probably talking to people that you do know, and it maybe even feels a little funny like asking them what their goals are, because it's like, oh, you're my neighbor, or our kids go to school together. Like it's a little more awkward. But all of a sudden when you start to talk to like basically sort of strangers and you start to get to know them, it just is really exciting and makes this business a lot more fun. In addition to free groups, you can also offer out free resources. So putting together a little template of like 5 different recipes, which you can literally copy and paste from the Beachbody blog, like copy the recipe, get the image, upload it, and put together like 5 of your favorite recipes. Do a post on your page saying, I have compiled my 5 favorite recipes and I'd love to share them with you guys. Comment below, tag 3 friends, and I'll send it to your inbox. Who doesn't want like free recipes, right? Or if you're doing your meal plan on Sundays, make out a nice little meal plan on paper, write it out, take a picture of it, or if you're really like fancy, upload it onto your computer and post about, I just finished my meal plan for the next 5 days. Would anyone be interested in seeing it? Tag a friend and I'll send it to your inbox. So those are all really, really simple ways to just start adding to your network. So these people are just going to start following you. And some of them are going to leave, yes. Some of them are not going to accept your friend request, yes. But you can't control that. All you can control is how many people you are trying to add every single day and how many people you are bringing in every single day. That was all I had written down there. Michelle, was there anything you would add?
About myself? Yeah.
Like, no, I just meant about any of that.
No. That was all good. Very, very good. Yeah, so that, I mean, when I say Megan and I did things totally different, it was totally different, but exactly the same, if that makes any sense at all. It may when I finish up here. So when I first started, my coach, who you guys probably don't know yet, but her name is Amy, and she had a business page. So when I signed up as a coach, I didn't necessarily know her very well. So I literally, if you are doing something and it's working, I'm just going to do that. And that's what I saw her do. So I opened up a business page and they were running ads. That's how they were building their network. So that's what I did. I spent $1 a day every single day, $1, which I'm an entrepreneur. As you guys know, I just closed my salon. So I do know that to get a successful business going and going quickly, sometimes you have to invest some money. So I had absolutely no problem with that. If they had told me to spend $5, I probably would have. But $1 a day was all it took. So instead of posting in a support group like Megan did, or on my personal page, I had a business page. It was called Michelle File, the Fit Files, but it is a business page on Facebook. The only place you can run ads is from a business page. You cannot run ads from anything else. If you plan to make this a business, you will all need one of these pages eventually. You don't need to run out and make one right now, but I will tell you, you'll need one eventually. I started mine right away. So the day I opened it up, I invited every single woman I knew to like that page. So my warm market, I invited them to like my business page. On day number 2, I started an ad that went out to the masses. However, it was targeted to my niche. So it was targeted to women, moms, hairdressers, people with PCOS, people that liked Michael Kors, like whatever. You don't have to know how to do that. They helped me. I'll help you if this is something you want to do. But I targeted my niche. I targeted the people that I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to men. That's just me. You can talk to men. I don't want to. I want to talk to moms with little girls. Like, they don't have to have little girls, but I want to talk to people that are similar to me. So you can actually target your market and narrow it down to literally where people live if you want to. So every single day, I was having people that I did not know that were women. They were in their 30s. They maybe had adopted. Maybe they had PCOS. They had something in common with me liking my page. And then I could add them as a friend and send them a connecting message and start a relationship. So I never, ever went to my husband's page and added all his friends. I never, ever went into groups. I never did any of that. I just have to be totally honest with you. That is not my jam at all. Like it's just not something I ever would entertain doing. But so Megan spent the time. I spent the time too. Like, don't get me wrong. I spent a ton of time, but I spent some money as well. So I put a little bit of investment in the game. But that's how I built up my network very, very quickly. My page has about 12,000 people that like it. I've connected with most of them. And, I do have a support page as well, but that is where all my sort of people I don't know come from. That's where they come from. That's where they still come from. That's where I've always done it, from this like page. I posted with intention. And I have to tell you, you guys, you need to be on your journey and you need to be seeing success, because that's what attracts people when they see a story of success. And I had one. So that attracted my warm market very, very quickly. So the people that I knew all of a sudden could see this picture that I had lost some weight. So they were interested and they were chatting with me. So that's how I got my business started, was with the people that already trusted me. The person, you know, my brother's girlfriend's cousin, you know, like that all started happening right at the beginning. As that was happening, I was building relationships with new people through this ad that I ran. So it's a completely different way of doing it, but it ends up in the exact same spot. You make friends with new people. You just have to figure out the way that makes you most comfortable to find new people. I believe Megan's way takes more time, and my way takes more money. Like, it's just kind of, that's just sort of what it is. I don't feel like it took a lot of money. Like $1 a day isn't a lot to invest. And the way you can target that really, really specifically works really, really well. If you're interested in doing that, we will do a whole other call and helping you, because you have to make an ad. Like, it takes a little bit of work. You have to make an ad. You have to make sure you have the page. You have to do some. So the time that Megan takes messaging all these people in these mom breastfeeding groups, I did getting this page ready and getting this ad ready and educating myself on having a business page, because that's a whole other kind of can of worms, basically. But it's very effective. Lots of coaches don't ever post on their personal page anymore. They just post on their business page. And then lots of coaches don't have business pages. There's so many different ways to do this. You just have to figure out what feels right to you. And we can't really, we want to share all the different ways with you, and then you're ultimately the only ones that can figure the rest out. What I did beyond that was post with intention. So I spent money on these people seeing my stuff. So I wanted to make sure my stuff was good. And one thing I read early on was this book. And I would say for everybody to get it. It's called The Go-Giver. And that is where the free group strategy comes from. The prizes that you can give away, the recipes that you can give away. Once a week without fail, since the very beginning of this coaching for me, I would post a picture of my supper. And I would say, if I get 100 likes or if I get 25 likes, I'll send everybody the recipe. So you don't give the recipe. You need them to do something, and you could even do the tagging, like, you know, post below, comment below, and tag a friend, and I'll send you both this recipe. I did that all the time. And I would often like up the ante. If I get 50 likes on this picture or 50 comments, I'll send everybody this recipe. And that's just getting a reason to message someone. So the more eyes that you have on your page, the more people you can message. So you have to figure out what feels right to you for getting more eyes on your page. That's really the goal. I do want to touch on Instagram, because I think Instagram is an amazing, amazing place to build some relationships. I am very new to Instagram, so I will not say that I am any expert, but I know a few of my coaches are on there for sure. So first of all, you need to figure out what your interests are. Are you a mom? Are you a hairdresser? Have you adopted? So mine are, I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I've adopted. Delaney's adopted. I like coffee. I like wine. Those are kind of whatever. But the big ones for me are adoption and PCOS. So on Instagram, I always use those hashtags. PCOS support, adoption, adoption mommy, adoptive mama, adopted girl, like all those hashtags. So people that are interested, that have PCOS, go searching for that. So it doesn't matter, even if I'm saying that I read this book, I hashtag PCOS support or whatever, mom of 4 or retired hairdresser or manicurist, like whatever your thing is, you hashtag that stuff. The other great way to find people that are going to be in your target on Instagram is find a page that you like. So it could be as easy as, I love Kate Spade. I will go to Kate Spade's page on Instagram. I will click her followers. So I will click the followers and I will literally click on their profiles. And if they look like someone, and guys, you can really tell if someone's your jam by looking at their picture. Like if they look sketchy or they just don't look like your people, just don't, like, move on. And when you find someone that you think, hey, this girl looks nice. Oh, she's got a little girl in her hands. Like I always look for a kid in the profile picture. I will go and I will like some of her pictures. And truthfully, I will just message her. On Instagram, people are so open to messages. I will just say, oh my God, I cannot believe your little girl. She's literally playing with the exact same game Delaney just got. How old is she? You would not believe the people that will message me back and the conversations I've had on Instagram. So for those of you, I know Jenny, Steph, and Amanda, we've talked about Instagram a tiny bit too. So I know you guys are on there. So I don't want you to miss the boat. Just because our team hasn't necessarily like tapped into Instagram that much, there's a lot of us that are starting, and I think it's an amazing place. It's an amazing place to build your business. So those are a couple tips that I have started doing. And I know most of you see my Insta stories. If you're comfortable sharing your reality show, Insta stories will build relationships faster than anything. I cannot believe the people that watch my day-to-day random shit. They like it a lot and they message me and it's crazy. So those are great tips for Instagram for just building your network. You don't have to spend any money, but yeah, you can build. Oh yeah, Megan, you're on Instagram too. So those are some different ideas, but definitely the free stuff. Like the more, stop thinking about finding new people to sell to. I've heard that a little bit on the chat thread, and it kind of sends like needles up the back of my spine because that's not what you guys are doing yet. The people that you're going to sell to right now are the people that already trust you. They're the people that are already trusting you. Those are the people that are probably going to be your customers for a little bit of time. Right now, it's about making new friends and finding new people that you connect with. And this takes time. Nobody ever promised you this was going to happen fast. Nobody. Because I've talked to pretty much all of you, right? It takes time, and we're giving you all the tools on how to get there. But you have to implement them. And one thing that Megan didn't kind of say, and she is I think both of us are exactly the same. We are so consistent. So consistent. We do not miss a day, ever, like ever. And that's the ticket. The things you have to do every day are actually pretty simple once you get onto them. They're very simple. It's like very methodical, actually. I mean, it's not that sexy. It's not really, like sometimes it's not even that much fun until you get into conversations and you really get talking to someone. Then it's really fun because you're helping them and chatting with them. But getting to that point is basic, but you have to do it every day. You just have to. And that's what builds your business. It's a numbers game in that sense. I never like to think of it as a numbers game. The only part of the numbers game is getting the eyes on your stuff and getting the people to talk to, the new people. I think that was all for me. You're muted, Megan.
This business becomes really fun when you actually do start connecting with people who are just like you. Like the, you know, adding to your network is great, but you really want to focus on who it is you want to add to your network. And that's why an ad is very good, because you can target so specifically. Like the women that have come from my ad, like it's like, where have you been all my life? Like it's like best friends coming out of these ads, because you can target so specifically. And I probably never would have believed that you could have a connection with a stranger, but you can, like when you really target them. And even in those groups that you join, like if you're going to join groups that are really specific to your interests, you're going to connect with them so easily. And then when you're having these conversations with them, it's actually really fun and you enjoy it. Whereas if you're having conversations with people who you have nothing in common with, and it's really hard to connect with them and to relate to them, therefore it's hard to help them. But when it's someone just like you and you guys can talk about common interests, it's actually really fun. It's like, that's what I love doing. I love being in my Messenger chatting with people, because I find it very, very fun being able to see how similar we are and how I can help them, and just, you know, just connecting with them.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite amazing how you can, and I think both ways work. You just, the biggest thing, if you're going to do ads or you're going to do groups, don't just join silly groups. Like figure out the groups that you would want to join that interest you. Like whether you have something like PCOS, or you're a mom of 4, or you like motorcycles, or like it doesn't matter. It's whatever you like. Like you can't make it up. You know, it's not something you make up. It's just you. It's whatever interests you. Like I target Kate Spade. I target like coffee. I target red wine. Like those are the things about me that are me. Like I'd rather just stay at home all night. Like, you know, you target you, and then you meet you. Like it's crazy sometimes, the people. I mean, a few of you, Alicia, April, like a few of you came, Megan, you guys came from my ads. Like I targeted you. Like now that you're here, I can tell you that. You know, that's how it does happen, because if you're kind of trying to weed through all these people that aren't like you, that like waste of time. We don't have that kind of time, right? Especially if you're gonna, well, either way, you don't have the time if you're taking the time route, like the group route, and you don't have the money if you're taking the money route. I didn't have money to waste. I didn't mind investing, but I was not going to waste. So, you know, that's what you have to really think about. That's something to think about right after we get off this call, is 5 things about you. Just 5 things. And then whatever route you're going to go, you're going to use those things. It's almost like you create your ideal best friend. Like, what would she be into? Like, what exactly would she be like? Would she like to go to Starbucks and have coffee with you? Or would she like to go to the club and dance all night? Like what is you? Does she have a couple kids so you guys have something in common? You know, what are those things? And that's almost how you do everything in this business. You talk to that woman all the time. I have a specific woman in mind all the time when I'm crafting my posts, when I'm trying to meet new people, and then they come back to you because they relate to that. I talked to me 3 years ago. Does that make sense? Like, we'll talk about this a lot in a little bit of training, but that's who I talk to. Like, I want to talk to the woman that dressed in black and covered her stomach with a pillow, that would never wear a bathing suit, that was so embarrassed, that took an hour to get dressed every night because she thought she looked fat. Like, that's who I talk to when I write my posts. I don't talk to me now. I talk to her. So I figure out exactly what she likes and doesn't like and what's making her uncomfortable. So we'll talk about that a lot as we get going, but think of 5 things about that person, which is really about you, right? Most of you are at that point right now. So think about those things that you love, and those are going to be how you figure out what to target or what groups to join. If you're a mom, like, frick, if you have a baby, my gosh, it's like a gold mine. Like, you just want to get into those mom groups. You want to talk about breastfeeding and sleepless nights and all that stuff.
And actually, on another call that I had heard, it was the person who was doing the call. She was like a big, like, she wasn't a mom at all. She was into traveling. And so she was part of all these travel groups, because like there literally is a group out there for every single subject on Facebook. So she was part of a travel group. So she like posted something about that she was going on this big hike in the mountains of wherever, and where can she get the best boots for this hike? And of course, tons of people comment, right? And so you friend request, you send them a message. Okay, like, tell me more about these boots. Like that, it doesn't have to be, I know I always sort of go down the mom path, but I don't want anyone to sit there and think, oh yeah, well, that must be easy because you're a mom, right? There is something like an avenue for you to take whatever it is your interest. So if it's travel, then get into some travel groups and start connecting with people who travel, or target them in your ad so that when you're connecting with them, you can connect with them about traveling. And it's just getting them into your market. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of page you have or whatever. It's all the same. Like Megan and I took different ways to get our people, but it ended up all the same in the end. They saw my stuff where I put them, and Megan's people saw her stuff. She actually had to do an extra step because she had to get them into her support group. So my people just liked the page, and then as long as I was connecting with them, they were seeing the stuff. So anyways, we're getting a little bit more than we need to right now. This is really just about ways to find new people. And to be honest, no one gave Megan and I a call like this. What we did is we went to YouTube and we punched in how to find people, how to grow your network on Facebook, how to find people Beachbody. Like, honestly, you guys can run a successful business and never hear another word from Megan and I, because it's all on YouTube. So that's where we figured this stuff out. Like, in the Instagram girls, I would say, like, I don't know enough about it to be giving you a lot of like factual information, because I'm just starting it now. And how I'm figuring things out is going to YouTube. I'm YouTubing Instagram Beachbody, ways to grow your Instagram. Like, that's what I'm doing right now. So you guys go do the same thing, and then you will figure out. And you know what? You try some stuff and it works, and you try other stuff and it doesn't work, and that's okay. You gotta be okay with course correct. That is one thing you'll learn about me. I will try everything, and it does not bust my ass if it doesn't work. Whatever, who cares? Move on. Like, don't worry about it. I have done so many stupid things in the last 3.5 years, but it's okay. It's a learning curve, and then you try something else. So anybody have any questions? I'm sure you all have millions of questions, but anyone have anything pressing that they can't wait to talk about right now? Are you in the chat thread? You can unmute yourself, or okay. Can you turn a support group into a business page? Nope, you can't. You have to have a separate, it's a separate page. Is it called business page when you set it up, or is it called like, I can't remember.
But honestly, what I do is I post the exact same stuff. Like, I am not creating content for my business page and creating content for my support group. It's I literally do a post, and then I copy and I paste it over on my other page. So it's the exact same content because the page, the business page, is going out to like people all over Facebook world. whereas the support group is narrowed in on the people who are in it. So I don't care if the posts are the same, because the business page is just being like sent out to wherever. It's not even like staying in my little warm market. It's just gone. So I don't care that I'm double posting. So that's the great thing about a like page or a business page, whatever you want to call it. It's very easy. It doesn't take any more work at all. At all.
No, I don't think you can block on a business page. It's a business page. That's what it is, right? They assume if people have a business page, they want to run a business, and to run a business, you shouldn't be blocking anyone, really. Where was I going with that? Oh, so I think someone asked how many pages. I have, I post every single day on my, then Heather, I wouldn't have a business page then. That wouldn't be for you. That's what I mean. Like, this has to be for work for you. So then that would not be a solution for you at all to have that, if that's something. So I have my personal page, my support group page. I have a business page, and I post on Instagram. So I post a lot of places, but I use the same post every time. I just multi-purpose it everywhere. So like, my mom probably sees everything, but that's about it. Yeah. Like, it's different people on Instagram. It's different people. And I am not suggesting any of you have that many pages. Like, don't compare my 3.5 to your 1 month, because we're at definitely different spots. So when I first started, I just posted on my business page. I didn't post anywhere else. I just had that one page, business page, nothing else. And then as I grew, my business had to grow. So Amanda sees it all. Yeah, so I don't create new content for every page. I love creating posts. So I may have 2 different ones in the morning kind of floating around, but that's just because I really like posts. That's my favorite part. But in the beginning, there was 1 page. Guys, I was running a salon and spa with like 15 employees. Like, I didn't have a lot of time. I was just like you guys. So it was 1 page. The wonderful thing now, you can do this on your support page now as well. But when I started, you couldn't schedule anything except on a business page. So that was something that was really attractive to me, because I couldn't, like most of you can't just be working and posting all day, right? So I was able to post. I literally would almost do like a few days at once, and I would just have them all done, so I didn't have to worry about it. That was something I did for my time management at the time. And you can do that in your support group now too, which is awesome. So if you guys have like questions, you can just reach out to us and ask them. Again, this has to be true to you. This is your business. Megan and I are not your bosses, okay? We are just here to share what we know and give you all the information, and then you have to make your choices to fit with your lifestyle, to fit with your comfort level, to fit with your goals. That's kind of why we asked you your why today, because you need to figure out what that is and where you want this business to go. And then we can help you. Like, we can tell you, okay, Heather, if you want to do this in a year, you probably should be making sure that you reach out to 5 new people every day. Steph, you want to close this spa, so we need to ramp this up. Like, we need to figure out what you need to do. And that might mean, and I'm just being hypothetical here, that might mean we need to get an ad going, and you need to get 10 new friends a day. Like, it depends on your goals. So we're not all the same. So you have to do what feels right for you, what's going to work with your lifestyle, your commitment level, your financial situation. Everything has to be up to you. We're just here to kind of give you the info, and we want you to have all the choices, because we didn't necessarily have that. We didn't know. So we would rather you know all the options, and then you can make your decisions, and we'll help you with it. But at the end of the day, it's your business. You guys have your CEO hats on, And he's cute. Yeah, it's your choice. Now I'm going to end on that. Megan, any closing words?
No, I think we got it.
Okay, cool. Are you guys all totally overwhelmed, or did it somewhat make sense? You're good?
Basically, it's just you have to start getting new eyes on your stuff, or you're going to hit a dead end. You might see some success in the next few months with the people that you know really, really well, and that's awesome, and you can get super excited about that. But then all of a sudden you're going to hit a month and you're going to have nobody to talk to. And then you're going to think, oh crap, I need to start adding to my network. And so you'll start doing these things, but it's going to take you a few months to get those connections built up and to get that trust built up with these new people. So then you'll all of a sudden find that for a few months you have no success in the business. And then that's when people get discouraged. Like, well, I did so well my first few months, but now it's not working. Right? And that's when we lose people, is because they're like, oh, well, it's not working anymore. But there should never be a month where it doesn't work. It should never come to that. If you are strategic now, and you will never, that funnel will always be full of people that you have been continually making relationships with. So that's just sort of my last thoughts.
Yep, totally true. Neither one of us have ever had an off month, but we've done the stuff consistently every single month. And at the end of the day, that's really it, right? It's the consistency of it, of those same sort of tasks every single day. Okay, good night, guys. Those little cuties up there. What are you guys still doing up? Oh yeah, it's not as late where you are, is it, Megan? I think you're a few hours behind us. Okay, well, I'm going to bed. Good night, guys. Thank you.